Welcome back, traders. This is Sandra with Trading Made Simple, and today we're going to look at our watch list and program a couple trades in. And the reason we do this is if you haven't looked at automation, well, you get to actually automate your trades, and those triggers hit. You have a great passive way of creating income. If they don't hit, those orders will disappear at the end of the week. If they trigger and go against you, no worries. It's a risk-defined trade. You know exactly what you're programming up front. So we were looking at our weekly watch list, and that comes out every Sunday night. And we have about, 7 to 10 tickers you can program in. I'm going to go through one of them with you right now. So this is PayPal. And PayPal had a great week, and they show you the chart here. And you can see that, we actually have levels up here at 67.12, 67.51, these zones, right? So we're looking to go higher. Friday's daily candle was strong, and we potentially could test our 67.12, 67.50 levels this week, as well as PayPal having earnings this week, right? So we have a level of support at 65.20, and we're going to monitor for a bounce this week. And that will be our trigger for a continuation to the 67 level. Nothing goes up in a straight line. There's always an ebb and flow. So that is the area for a bounce. Let's look at our chart now. So you got the analysis in their chart. The homework's been done. So now it can help give you confidence in your chart reading. Here's my chart as an example. Everyone knows I love the 20. Here's the 20 EMA. I use that as my reversion to the mean. You could use VWAP or any other type of EMA or SMA that's helping you to identify where reversion of the mean is. Everything ebbs and flows. Price likes to come back to the 20. It may end up coming back to the 20 here. It could just continue higher next week. We're right here at this vertical trend line, could offer some nice support, that 65.93. If it stays above 65.93, we could go to those 67 targets. If it breaks below that 65.93 area, we could go down to the mean, right? And you can see where the 20 is hanging out, where the last pivot high is, which is that green. Everything is lining up. My 20 is at 65.27. Their level was 65.20. You can see what I mean by the zone. So let's pick 65.20 for price coming down and then heading back up. How would we do that for automation? I'm going to show you right now. So we go over to our trade tab, and what we're going to do is we're going to find, now there's two ways that you can pick your strike price. You can pick it at the time. So right now we're thinking in our minds price is going to come down around the 65.20 level. So we could get a 65 call or a 67 call because that's our target. So that's what I'm going to do in this event. So I'm going to right click it. I'm going to say buy custom with an OCO bracket, and the system already puts it up for you. So now we're going to go to our gear icon and click it. This order pops up, our conditional order. And we always program the conditions before this. This is the option price, but we don't know what the option price is going to be when it comes back down to 65.20, right? We don't know what it's going to be. So we start here. So what we do is we just hover and click. That's all you have to do. Hover and click, automatically puts in PayPal. Hover and click, automatically puts default by mark. Hover and click, the first one is less than or equal to. And since we're waiting for price to go down, it's less than or equal to 65.20. So we're going to type in this box 65.20. And tab out, we can read it down here, less than or equal to 65.20. I don't know what the option price is going to be, but I want to be an aggressive buyer, buy the ask, and I want to limit order, and I don't want to pay any extra. They're asking the price. I'm going to pay the price. It should be good enough for them as well. I do this all the time, and it's a way of becoming you're an aggressive buyer, but you're not paying the market price. Little tidbits along the way as we are trading and earning. So you are now a ThinkorSwim programmer automating your trade. We could do this a number of ways for your take profit. We could say, get me out at 67 or maybe 20 or 30%. You could program that in here as well. You just hit trigger and click on this box for percentage and change that to 25%. So now you're like, if I make 25% profit, get me out. Then your stop loss, well, you could say the stock was going down to 65.20. How far down are you going to let it go before you get out? That's the question. So, 65.20 was your entry. So maybe you say 64, 90 as an example. Give it about 20 cents to work itself out. Or let's see, 65.20 is when we get in. No, you could do 64 like 95. That's 25 cents, right? 25 cents to work itself out. If it doesn't, then you're out with a very little loss, very risk-defined, extremely conservative. Often we say, hey, look, you should set your stop loss. If we're willing to take profit at 25 or 30%, shouldn't you kind of have that kind of same mentality of, well, you don't want to let this go too far. If I'm only accepting 25% profit, do I really want to go down all the way to 50%? No. So, you're always trying to make more than what you're risking. That's one of our goals. When buying options, I always like to do it based on stock price because I'm looking at the chart and I'm saying, hey, look, these are the support and resistance areas. But I recognize a lot of traders like to put percentages in. You can do that too. If you want to put in a percentage for your stop loss, you can. In that sense, you would just go ahead and put trigger. You would put this is your stop loss. You could say a percentage as an example, negative 15%. Tab out of that box. Make sure you put these good till cancel. If we read it, it would say buy a PayPal 67 call when we're at or below 65.20. And I want you to sell that call when we trigger a 25% profit. And I want you to sell that call if the stop loss triggers a negative 15%. You see the negative right there and the positive right there. That's it. You are now a ThinkorSwim programmer. This just took me a second. You could create a template if you like this setup, and you can do it like literally click, 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 and it's done for all your stocks. Let's say I save this, come back, and put that back up. I saved it in my saved orders. But I'm going to say create a duplicate advanced order so it brings back up. I'm going to come over here now and I'm going to change it to the stock price so you know how to do that as well. Got this down easy. A lot of people like to work with percentages, but I'm going to go ahead and pick a target price. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over here and I'm going to say, let's see, we're going to do greater than. This is my take profit, and we're going to use the levels. The level for the profit taking was around $67. I always like to get out just a little bit beforehand. So I'm going to say 66.75. I'm going to tab out of that box so you can see when the security is greater than 66.75. That's going to be a limit. We're going to sell the bid. And we're going to make this 00. Now I have my profit target in there. I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing for here, but I'm going to do my stop loss. We could leave this for 15%, or you could use the stock price. If it's going down to 65.20 for us to buy a call, I only want it to go down to 65. If it breaks 65, then it's going lower, and I don't want to stay in it, so my risk is very defined. It's a narrow definition there of a small risk trade here. So I'm going to put this as 65. Tab out. Can I say sell the bid? I'm just being an aggressive seller without doing a market. Anytime you put a stop, even if it's a trail stop, it is a market order. I use these often, no problem. You want to be super aggressive, you can say, okay, sell it with an extra 2 or 3 cents, $2 or $3 to make sure you're definitely out. I haven't had any issues with these types of stops for regular option contracts, single leg option contracts. Then of course you have your double legs, which is your credit spreads. You have butterflies, which change a little bit, but once you know those changes, this becomes second nature to you, so it's not that big of a deal. Now we have everything, so we're going to read the programming we just did. It says buy this 67 call when we get at or below 65.20, and then it says, okay, sell this when it gets above 66.75, and then sell this if it gets below 65. So we're entering at 65.20. If it goes down 20 cents, we're out, no harm. That's how you automate your trades. That's how you live your life and create passive income while you're looking at charts and utilizing some great tools that we have in our Discord. So use that weekly watch list, get in the mode of doing this, and you too can whip this out in about 20-30 minutes. Have about 6-7 different tickers. Some will trigger, some won't. No worries. And that's it. My PayPal's done, and I'm going to move on to another one. So I hope this helps. If you have any questions, my contact's in the description below, and we'll see you in the next video. Have a great day, and I look forward to this week.